All right, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody feeling today? Hope you had a good one. I know it was definitely a good day in the crypto market. It's pretty nice. It was looking good. And gonna read off a quick little quote with the shout out. You become a better trader by making mistakes and then evaluating these mistakes. And sounds a whole heck of a lot like those trading psychology videos that I just did, but it's not actually. It is from crypto.trading.life over on Instagram. Go check them out. Cool page. They do a bunch of little like daily market cipher, little quick updates. It's good stuff. Wanted to show some love. I said hi. They said hi back. They checked the channel. I was like, hey, I like what you guys are doing. It's kind of cool. Even though I don't use Instagram all that much, but you know what? Now I'm following, so now when I do check it, I swing by, take a look, see what's going on, stop by and chop it with them for a minute. But here we are back on the chart. What are we looking at today? Still didn't update these Gann squares yet. This is really the first time, I mean, aside from just like a quick couple looks on the phone here and there, this is the first time I've really looked at it since like the last 5-6 hours. So let's see what's going on over here on the 4-hour Ethereum. As you can see, we've lost our damn eye. Here we go. Got a nice little uptrend beginning over here, looking snazzy. If I had to guess, and it's still a little early for a guesstimate like this, but you know, we might start putting in these little bunny hops going up the hill again. If you remember, we kind of had that going on over here, which is a fairly common thing in like a, you know, a bullish uptrend where you actually have some decent bullish pressure going up and it's not super choppy going back and forth on the money flows. So it'd be nice to see that continue. On the DBS side, we're weakening a little bit. You know, it does look like I said, I got to put this thing back up here. I'm not used to going down there. It does look like it doesn't want to cooperate. Like it's getting ready to roll a little bit. Not saying it's going to look exactly like that, but as you can see, we're getting a little weaker on the DBS side. The VWAP is getting closer to coming down. You know, we're probably in like a sideways-ish to downward area on the Heikin-Ashis with this approaching the zero over here. Money flow though is still increasing, coming up, although if you look closely at this particular moment, kind of going sideways, but again, we're rolling over the top. It's all kind of fitting with what you'd expect to see right there. RSI still heading to the upside, a little bit of a split, but you know, as you can see, we started splitting up here right before we rolled over the top of that one. Likely a similar scenario over here, unless these can pull back together. If they do that, then we may have maybe like something like that, where we don't even break into the red candles here on the 4-hour, and we just kind of pause for a second and then get back to business. Let's see. Let's go up a little bit. We haven't looked at the weekly in a minute. Let's see what's going on the big boy time frame here. So we came down, took another little bounce. Got this little beginnings of a move to the upside again. -5 to 1, so we're moving upward in the bullish pressure on the DBS side. We got, it's not the greatest down here though, I won't lie. RSIs, they are going sideways at the moment, and they do have a little bit of split to it, so it could be a weaker, you know, continuation to the downside if that is the case. Obviously, money flow still looking ugly. We are definitely decreasing. Be nice to see that turn around. Remember, it can turn around at any time. It doesn't necessarily have to come down here into the red. You know, we can dip low and then come back at it again. So it's not a guaranteed thing with the money flow. When you get onto these really high time frames, like you come over here to the monthly, and this is a bad chart deal. This is Binance. Let's we got anything better? Nope. I'll show you when we get to the Bitcoin chart. But you know, on these high time frames doesn't necessarily mean that we got to come down to the red. Let's go to the 5-day. You know, here looking a little better, coming up on the momentum waves. What's going on with the VWAP? Okay, that's interesting. You know, we did cross down a little bit, but we just pop right back up, and we have not gotten a green dot. We have not quite crossed the 0 yet. So a little something to look forward to. You know, we spent a big old chunk of time down here below 0, freezing our bunions off. Be nice to see a decent little piece up on the top side. And you kind of look, we got, you know, some increasing VWAP values as we move through the oscillations here. So, you know, another point to the bulls on that one. Again, though, this RSI not looking as good. It is increasingly split. So that's kind of a point to the bulls on that one, because as this comes down, if this is split, you know, you could see come back up, meet up, then head on back up into the hills like the weekend. God, man, I can't, you know, that's one of them songs that you just can't even attempt to sing, because that song has got to be one of the highest damn pitches I have ever heard a dude sing. Not even, you know, not even talking crap. That's an amazing song, but you're gonna blow your damn vocal cords out just trying to sing it. Not that I've tried or anything. I mean, of course I wouldn't try to sing something so high pitched. Are you mad? It's hard. Now we got, look at this. We got a big, whoops. Got a big difference right here between these two momentum waves. It'd be nice to see this like a trigger wave. Oh my gosh, that would be beautiful. Right there, a trigger wave on the 2-day. VWAP coming up. RSI's looking like they're starting to come up. That right there is probably the bullish scenario you're gonna get for Ethereum, and I'm willing to bet it's not terribly different on Bitcoin. Yeah, same thing. A little bit more split on the RSIs for Bitcoin, but that right there, that's the money shot right there. That's the centerfold. Throw it in the thumbnail, which I'm not going to do. Obviously, I already made the thumbnail. I ain't going back and editing that. Shit. Spent enough time on it. All right, we got a 6 to a 13, so DBSI is moving up. It's moving on up. Let's go to the daily. 11 to 10 to 13, so we kind of, you know, 15, 16 pulled down a little bit. Never got terribly, we didn't even get below 10, which is nice. Stayed -5, -4, -3, back to -5. So, you know, DBSI still looking, why does it never want to do that? DBSI still looking fairly bullish over here. VWAP started coming, rebounded to the upside before it even got to the 0. RSI's pulled back together a little bit right here from where they are there, but slight more separation as we head to the upside, which isn't quite as good, because in a case like that, it's like every time it starts heading to the upside, it starts to get weak, you know, before I mean, see the green one here, before we really even get off the floor too much. And the regular RSI over here, we just barely got above the 60 into like the, what is this, 773 right here. And it looks like we might be spreading again as we go up, which would mean that, you know, it's not necessarily going to be a a gigantic parabolic move, but it's still early. You know, we just made this curve over here. We just started coming up over here. Plenty of time to see, you know, what these guys do if we do something like that or if we do something like that. But that's what I'd be looking for on the daily. What do we got here on the 12 hour? See, the 12 hour, they're pulling together. So that's, you know, a potential sign that, you know, if we see that carry over onto the daily chart, that would be looking good for the big bull case. Money flow, not much into the red right there. Hopefully this is still like an increasing green money flow, but as you can see, it's just been super choppy. Super choppy and irregular. You know, we did have some nice green back here though. Be nice if we can get back into the habit, getting them big old money flows going. But I mean, you remember that was very bullish case. Very bullish case. Very, very bullish case. So if we can get money flow coming back in to Bitcoin and ETH to where we can finally get back up here, start pushing the even the 40 level. What's it? Yeah, even the 40 level. Then I would think we could at least expect a decent little move, because what were we seeing back here? Like even before we started going sideways right there, 70%. What do we see back here? Let's call it this last leg. I'm not even gonna go all the way to the top. 115, 64. You know, so if we could even find ourselves, even catching a 50 would be nice territory. Now, obviously, the first thing we want to do, and you can see it looking from here, so we want to kind of break. It's not even a very good starting point. We'll move it all the way up to here. We want to break this resistance right there. You can see we got knocked back over here. Pulling up to it right now. I'm gonna leave this line here so when we zoom in we could see what's going on with that. Just out of curiosity. Looks like we come all the way back to this level right here. Right there. Ugh, that's hideous though. We're getting rid of that. All right. You know, while we're zoomed out, let's see if we can't adjust this a little bit. You know, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. Do we want to extend this? But problem is we're pushing toward the top of this. It would actually make more sense to not do what I just did. Come on. Take this guy here. Snap it to that. Snap it to a Slim Jim. And let's see if we can put a little something together. It's not that great. Hold on. Let's go to the 1 hour. I'm going to hate myself for attempting this, but let's try it. I'd say that I'm going to run out of space. Okay, so I'm trying to match up, if I can get it. I'm trying to match up this intersection right here with the peak of this little first impulse wave. Let's see what we came up with here. Let's see. So resistance, rode this the kill zone curve right here, came back up, came back to it, came back to now this fan line right there, got rejected from it, found support at this fan line, rode it. Not much there that would trigger it, at least not, you know, with just this Gann square. But we came in here, got a little resistance along the second ring. Before we pushed through, came back, retested, came up, came back, retested this line. I like it. I think I'm going to keep it. She's a keeper. Let's go back up to the 4 hour real quick here. And let's see. Obviously, we got money flow come back to the upside. Momentum waves trending to the upside. Still a little early to say whether this one's clipping, because something you want to keep in mind, even though it looks like, you know, you're going from here. Oh, that is just horrifying. You know, you're going from here. And then you can see how we're starting to clip inward. Keep in mind, just from where the vertical line is now to this one is only one candle. So this point can move up or down, you know, as we finish out this candle. And so if this rises up here, say to where this yellow line is, we're just going to continue straight along that trajectory, because I would like to see us at least get above there, which we could still do it even if we're clipping a little bit, you know, if we rounded that angle out or just humped in, came back. But usually when you get like a little hump in your mountain right there, generally get some VWAP crossovers, and we got one coming up. Either, what is this again? 4 hours. So either in the next 4 hour candle or likely even the one after that. So 2 left, 6. So in like the next 6 to 10 hours, could be looking at a VWAP crossover on the 4 hour, which is not to be trifled with. But no, seriously, like, just look at previous ones, crossover to the downside. A weak crossover to the downside, still had this, but we were in a bit of a downtrend. Back here, cross to the downside, came up, bounced off, didn't even make it above. You know, it had all this, all that right there. So yeah, I mean, a 4 hour cross, VWAP cross to the downside is a decently substantial little move. Now, obviously, these little ones aren't much, and you know, these are in a bit of an uptrend, but it's still like 5%. You know, that guy there was 8. So, you know, even if we pulled back to this line right here, which would be reasonable, you know, 5.5-ish. I think a bullish case, you know, would be to hug along this line right here, hopefully break through this yellow resistance line. That's probably my my main goal for Ethereum here. And I'm gonna skip most of these time frames because this I'm already dragging on a little bit. Come over here down to the 10-minute. What's going on at the moment? As you can see, resisted, supported, starting to pull back down a little bit with the lower high. Kind of steep on the VWAP. RSI is coming down. A little bit of split, but then came together as we came up and looks like splitting again. So hopefully that means it's a little bit of weakness to the downside here on the 10-minute. Money flow kind of rounding back up. I mean, it's funky looking. I mean, it's sketchy looking, but you know, because we're super choppy, came up, stayed up even though we went down, steep down, gradually started coming up, which isn't that bad, hit a little peak, but then whew, just ran down that slope. So we're not really getting, you know, a nice curvature, which is sketchy. Super sketch brothers. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm I'm going to leave that Gantt square there. So let's go over to Bitcoin. What's going on with Big Bitty? Big baby. Obviously, it was a nice day. Let me know. Any of you guys trade this? 16.5%. I mean, that is not one to shake a stick at. Although I don't know why you'd be shaking a stick at something. That's just silly. But definitely a nice trade, man. Oh my gosh. Almost done with this project at work. So hopefully. Oh yeah, hey. While I'm cleaning off tabs over here. So this is the Instagram I was telling y'all about. Crypto trading life from over in Amsterdam. And just to give you a little preview here. Yeah, just short little updates with got the market cipher going on. Showing the weekly, the 1 day, quick little synopsis, 12-hour, 6-hour. Looks like we got some little bulls and bears up in the top there. It's interesting. So yeah, go and check them out. It's kind of cool. It's just like a daily update, like checking your calendar. What do we got here with the quotes? Never open a trade with the same feeling you get when visiting a casino. That's what I'm talking about. Dude gets it. Dude gets the trading psychology. Every single one of these quotes that I've read so far was spot on. You should only exchange your time for work if that work eventually brings you more free time. A freaking men, brother. What's this other one? I'm just randomly clicking. Only trade when you have a clear mind. Good advice. Good advice. What else do we got here? Only invest in cryptocurrencies that you really believe in. I'm going to say like 90-ish% of the time that's true. I've definitely... Okay, wait, did it say invest or trade? Okay, it said invest. Yeah, only invest in ones you believe in. As far as trading, you know, go where the money's at. I mean, I've traded Shiba Inu a number of times, even though I hold not a single coin in my portfolio. Traded Doge a few times, don't hold a single coin. Speaking of, talk about some of these ones that were kind of pumping, doing a little well today. I mean, everything was pumping, but you know, we're kind of coming up even before that. GALA was one. Matter of fact, let's go and hit the chart. Let's see. It's probably even updated by now. Let's refresh just to make sure. Sort by 24-hour waves. I don't really know anything about waves. If you know about waves, I don't know, drop me some knowledge down in the comments. What's it about? What is it? I'm not going to look it up right now. Luna. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. You know we like our big Luna. Theta. All right. Thorchain. I don't own any. I always kind of meant to, but just never got around to it. Neo. Old school. Cadena. What's up with Cadena? I don't know anything about Cadena either. Volume 8 is super heavy, but Avalanche. And if you remember in the thumbnail, I threw a few of these in there, like some of the ones I like a little better. We had Avalanche in there. Our boy Phantom, just sneaking up the chart like a ghost in the night. GALA. I don't know. Well, you know what, guys? Let me know. Do you want me to start doing like little video breakdowns on independent projects or like individual projects? And we'll take a look at just what the hell does it do in like plain and simple language. You know, I'll try to keep it as non-technical as I can. Try to put it into lay terms and look at it and just check it out. See what the sentiment is. See, is it a bunch of BS? Does it got potential? Is it going to be a blue chip? Is it going to stay around? Does it actually have a use case? Does it have too much competition that it's probably not going to surpass? let me know if you want to do that for some of these, and let me know what, you know, projects, what coins, what tokens that you might want to take a look at, because I know plenty of other channels are always going and looking at different ones and trying to pump them, or they're, you know, what do they call that, paid content, or, you know, getting advertising money to explain or pump some coin or something like that. I'm not getting nothing, so you're just, if you want to see one, if you want me to look at one, it'll be a no bullshit, honest assessment. So let me know if that's something you want to do. VeChain, y'all know that I like my VeChain. Atom, know I like my Atom. There's Monero up here. Bitcoin, dude, Bitcoin was doing good today. Like, it's not all the time that Bitcoin is getting better percentages than Ethereum, and Bitcoin was beating Ethereum today. So shout out to Bitcoin. Your Ant Flow over here. Axie Infinity, that's one I keep hearing about that I gotta look at. Quantum, that's another one. Kusama, I know about Kusama. Solana was doing pretty good, but it just didn't pull those numbers. Just wasn't making numbers. Gotta step its game up. But back to the chart over here. So that's breaking stuff left and right. Holy cow. So this is GALA. What do you say? Let's do the hourly. Let's get a little wider view here. So that's GALA. What are we looking at? We're coming into the green on the money flow. RSIs are together. They're in there like swimwear, holding hands, walking up the hill, trying to go see that sunset. Should be hanging out up there. VWAP, you know, it's on the underside and it's going sideways now. We will see. Getting a little bit better numbers on the DBSI, so we could probably expect that VWAP to come up over here for GALA. What else was on the list? Avalanche. Let's see what's up with Avalanche. Doesn't look like it's going to be falling down the mountain today. Look at that. That was pretty. Although, I mean, they all kind of look like that. But just to give you an idea here, let's go from tippy bottom to tippy top. 25%. You can see it over here. Now, it's kind of weird the way TradingView does its like percentage gains. Like the time frame is a little bit funky and it resets. I don't even know how often, but I notice it like resetting all the time. So I really don't pay too much attention to the percentage over here, other than just as like a right now, real quick, you know, who's been doing a little bit better in the short term. And it just kind of helps to have stuff jump out at you, like GALA and Avalanche, Phantom. But all right, Avalanche, you know, same thing. View up, curving up a little bit better. GALA was kind of going like legit horizontal. This one's curving up a little bit. You know, money flow curve down, but again, if it's just, you know, following that curve, could very well just keep on going to the upside. And again, that RSI, it's a strong thing. It's a powerful drug. Let's go. Let's look. Luna doesn't look so hot on the percentage, but you know, we had a decent pump, but it did have a little bit of pullback, but it's been doing very, very well lately. So, you know, I mean, shit, just look at that. I mean, we've been going up, up, up and away. Practically 100% just from down here. And looking at the money flow, you know, we're getting a little low compared to the last couple little bumps that we had, but VWAP's coming up. You know, not super smooth. A little bit of, bless it, a little bit of like curve to the outside. Hopefully it continues on its way up, but you know, it's always possible that it does something like that. So you got to watch when you like, what you kind of want to see is these nice, smooth, and it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but even like this, you know, just nice. That one's a little choppy, but still. Once you start going sideways, then you're like, oh, okay, like it can be good or bad. If you're expecting it to go up and you're going sideways, then it's not the greatest. If you were coming down and you start going sideways, it's basically like extending whatever that, you know, short-term trend that's going on. You know, we will see here. The RSIs are staying fairly tight, but they are pointed down. But again, kind of curving back sideways. Hopefully we see the VWAP crossover, get a little green dot here, and at that point, we're looking to go above the previous momentum wave. See, just looking at the chart here. It was a bit of a parabolic move right there, though. Just something to keep in mind. You know, when we start going straight up, before too long, it's going to start coming back down. What we got here, Cartesi. Yeah, it looks like good trading. 23%. Just look at this last little leg right here. Little 4%er. What else? All right, let's look at Phantom. We can't just drive past Phantom. You got to stop, get out the car, and take some pictures. Had a decently big little momentum wave down here, but money flow coming back to the green. You know, VWAP didn't start going straight down. It's kind of got the sideways thing going on. The DBSI close, you know, you're going from 8 to 9, came from -1. So, I mean, it is going to the upside, went from 1 to 0. I'd like to see that number improve, even just a little bit. Try to get in some double digits here. You know, it looks like we had our upswing pulled back a little bit. We'd like to see continuation to the upside on that guy. Money flow actually don't look too bad. Yeah, everything's a little bit sideways-ish right now, but RSI's tight together, pointed up. It's a good sign. You know, and we're hardly getting any, you know, moves to the negative side on the VWAP, so it's definitely got bullish pressure. Under pressure. Let's see what Solana's doing. We were looking at it earlier. Okay, so that's why the numbers are looking a little weak, because we had a bigger pullback than a lot of people, or a lot of other coins, tokens. Super tight RSIs. Generally headed upward, though. You know, we are in the green. It is starting to angle back up. Again, with the sideways VWAP, but, you know, hopefully continues on up. Momentum wave, we'll see what happens. And just a heads up, if you're not super familiar with Market Cipher and you haven't been using it a while, you know, just because this wave is coming down doesn't necessarily mean you're swinging all the way to the downside. like you can see right here, we swung down, turned back around before we even got to the 0 line, came back up. You know, similar here, was coming down barely before getting back up the hill there. But it definitely happens. That's probably the best example right there of what I'm talking about. It was coming down, VWAP came up, money flow was coming up, turned that momentum wave right around. RSI was coming up. Again, that you could see the split there with the RSI. So it was coming up kind of weak, and we ended up kind of going sideways for a minute. And then RSI's pulled together, but at that point, I mean, yeah, we were up a little bit for this section right here where they were nice and tight. But generally speaking, a lot of sideways action. And then as you can see, we started coming to the downside. RSI spread as we were coming down. Real big spread, got weak, turned around. Started coming down again. We were getting spread out to the downside, but they started pulling together. And if they are, you know, if they're getting closer together, that means whatever direction it's going, the strength is increasing. Whoops. As you can see, stayed super tight down here. So we rolled the bottom and just kept going down. But zoom out a little bit. You know, everything's basically looking the same, although this got a little bit more pullback than most of the others. But it really doesn't change the overall picture. It's just a little extra price action. Cardano actually had some. So there you go. There's a great trade signal right there. Had some bullish divergence over here on the 1 hour. You can see what it turned into. That's the kind of thing you're looking for. Money flows were choppy, but you know, it's still worth going after these divergences because, you know, like even, I'm trying to find another one, but just to give you an example, like even a worst case scenario where you're getting like stuff like that, and you could still get these little scalps out of it at the very least. Let's see what else is going on. Not much. Everybody's pulling back a little bit. You know, man, Bitcoin just, it was a Bitcoin maxi kind of day. All the maxis were talking crap and rubbing it in everybody's face, I bet. %. How often do you see a nice 18% move on Bitcoin anymore? It's been a little while. I mean, we had this guy here, but even that was only 13. 14. 'Twas a day to remember. 14. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's been a while since we had a big bullish day like we've been having. Not to mention, it's kind of started on a weekend too. Wait, when did we start? What was that? So 27th. Okay, so yeah, pretty much Sunday through today, Sunday evening, after the market came back on, which is interesting because, you know, that kind of tells you there's been you know, some stuff in the news about Bitcoin and crypto in relation to like the Russia-Ukraine situation going on, and they're talking about, you know, shutting them out of the SWIFT banking system, the transaction system. And I heard some people here and there talking about how, you know, if they really wanted to, they could use crypto as a way to circumvent that. Now, I'm not super familiar with the exact details on that. I know I remember hearing at one point that it was only like a number of specific banks that were being shut out. So who knows? But I'm not entirely sure that they like completely shut off Russia's ability to, you know, do large scale international trade transfers. Either way, it's probably going to, let's see, what's the regular market doing? Let's say either way, it's probably going to have a negative effect on the market in general. But if more and more people start realizing the good use case for Bitcoin or for crypto in general, you know, that would be great for us, because as people say, whoa, okay, you know, these guys are trashing the traditional market, but crypto's holding strong, let alone the fact that people are starting to see like, oh, okay, you know, maybe what all these Bitcoin people have been talking about actually kind of makes sense, where, you know, if you need to figure out how to transfer a large amount of money without getting raked over the coals, taxes and fees and the amount of time it takes and all that stuff, why wouldn't you want to use crypto? I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not the best for transferring money. My nose is getting stuffed up. Let's see, when was this? So today. So it was basically a downish kind of day, but we did pull back up. This is the hourly chart. So, okay, so that was Friday. Not too bad, but and we did have this run up at the end of the week, but otherwise, generally speaking, S&P has been in a downtrend. So we'll see. You know, it might be a reversal, but the way things are going everywhere, I mean, okay, if you were to look at the market in like, not an idealist way, but in like a fundamental kind of way, you would think everything going on, inflation, all this stuff, that, you know, the market should be going down. But traditional markets don't exactly always do what you think they would do. Like throughout all of COVID, everything was going up. So part of that is you got to price inflation into that, because as the value of the dollar goes down and different items, commodities, assets, all that stuff cost more, when you're looking at a chart, what you're seeing is the price. So if it's costing more, that means the price is going up. And, you know, how much of that price increase is inflation compounded with the fact that people see the price going up, so they start trading it more, they start buying more, start going long, which then exponentially increases the price with it. And that's, you know, aside from the manipulation aspect of it, I feel like that's like the biggest reason why the market's been going. Now, obviously, all the big companies have been making a ton of money because small businesses were getting kicked in the nuts for 2 years, and they were doing fantastic. And so that kind of gives the illusion of the overall picture being so much better. But man, it seems so bubble-like. And then a lot of these traditional people got the nerve to dismiss Bitcoin and say, oh, the Bitcoin bubble. Not going to take that risky investment. It's like, dude, you guys have been trading the biggest bubble in history. Who are you to talk? Like, for real? Just care. Let's see here. Sitting in between two spider lines. Do that. I actually got. I didn't even realize I had spider lines on this other chart. But this one is the bit stamp. Okay, I don't have any above that. If anybody needs a refresher on drawing spider lines, I'm going to add some right now. So we are going below. So you're going to go top to the top of the body. Turn it down to 1. Go to dotted. Yeah, I'm going to leave it yellow so it stands out a little bit here. Oh, forgot the most important detail. Extend line right. Let's go and pop another one in there just for the sake of doing it here. What do we got? Oh yeah, hey, there's our super price prediction. I know you all don't think we could get it, but look at that. We're already on our way. We already made the first top. What happened to... Where's our spider line? Did it get hidden? Son of a bitch, it got hidden, didn't it? I don't care about months. All right, where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? On the bit stamp chart, bounced off the spider line. Damn, I wish I'd have did this sooner and looked at it. If I'd have known we were coming up on a spider line, dude, that would have been a great, easy trade. Just hit it as soon as you started getting close over here. Start setting, you know, limit orders. Let it start filling on you as you get close. If it starts pulling back down, say, all right, close the rest out. Depending on how things looked. I mean, we would have been what? Actually, that might have been a hard one to do because you just got a green dot. VWAP is coming up. Then again, this is on the 1 hour, so not making a lot of trading decisions on the 1 hour. At least not scalping. Coming up here. So yeah, it would have been coming up. RSI was starting to come down a little bit. Although, that money flow is still increasing. Probably would have held out, but once we came to a lower high right here. Yeah, lower high, these started splitting. This started coming down after going up a little higher. VWAP is coming down. Worst case scenario, I'd have cut it in here. Ideally, if I would have known about the spider line, I would have been looking to cut close to that spider line and let the chips fall they may. You know, if it comes back up, starts retesting, you know, you can go back in, but just breezed right through that one though. Still, yeah, resist. It's resisting arrest over here. Support. Gonna need backup. All right. I think that's probably good. We hit some different ones. We did a little analysis. Gave y'all guys a little look at what's going on in the charts right now, lately. Potentially into tomorrow, as you can see. momentum wave, vastly smaller. We are heading down, but we are starting to spread a little bit. VWAP to the downside there, half hour. VWAP headed down, just got the red dot. But oh, if you're still watching, this is actually a really good lesson here, and I'm going to talk about this in a upcoming video because I'm going to redo the intro to Market Cipher. I'm going to try to just keep it short, concise, explain the various different parts. Try not to get too far into the weeds on strategy, but if you have a big old money flow, especially, it can go either way, but especially to the bullish side, and you're seeing some signs that like VWAP coming down a little bit, you know, these momentum waves kind of trending downward. This money flow cannot necessarily override things, but it will change the dynamic. And a good example of that is right here, where your VWAP crossed to the downside and it hung out below the zero for a little while, but as you can see, we were still trending upward. So something to keep in mind. You know, RSI was up high, which very much helped with that. But you know, momentum wave was technically coming down. VWAP, although it wasn't like coming down, it was below the zero. But just in the midst of this heat wave, in the midst of that money flow wave, just a lot of bullish pressure. And, you know, those green money flows will do that. So, especially being up here, unless we were rolling the peak right now, you know, if we are peaking and coming back, a little bit different story, because as it's coming down, this is coming down, this is coming down, this is coming down. You know, that's a lot of momentum to the downside. But, you know, if we were kind of hanging out and bouncing, or even continuing up, it will make the pullbacks very, very mild. Typically, not every time, obviously, but just a little tidbit for you, a little food for thought, a little something you could stick in your doggy bag, take it home with you, and munch on it later. But all right, everybody, that's it. I'm tired, dude. I don't have the energy that I had yesterday. But I wanted to do this because we did have a good day. We were pumping and everything. So, love y'all, everybody. Stay free. Be responsible. Remember to work on yourself. Half of trading is looking at you, and the other half is looking at the chart. If you neglect half of it, you're going to do a half-ass job, and you are going to make half the money. Or none. So, go through, watch some old videos, say what's up in the comments. Come on, holler at me. All right. Bye.